Semiconductors. Broadcom, one of the world's biggest chip makers, has reported record revenue in the third quarter and an upbeat forecast. They were helped out by strong demand for chips, very strong, we've seen that across the board, used in corporate computer networks and smartphones. But the CEO, Hock Tan, warns that the supply of semiconductors is still constrained. For more on the state of play in the industry, let's get to Bloomberg's Ritika Gupta. Ritika, so much focus then on the semiconductor supply issues. What is the latest?
Yeah, Tom, so some pretty stellar results out there from Broadcom, but that chip shortage, it does continue and it seems to be getting worse. And you can see that when you look at chip lead times. This is a difference between when you order the chip and when you get the delivery. That is surging now past 20 weeks. According to latest research, and that is a whole lot higher than your typical 6 to 9 weeks. And you have the likes of TSMC coming out that this could extend even further into 2022. Now, this is really going to hit certain industries. We've seen that with autos. They're actually forecasting that they could lose about $100 billion in lost vehicle sales that they just cannot make. And it's also your electronics. Big companies like Apple saying that they are unable to meet demand for their products, Tom.
What's happening in terms of M&A in the space?
Yeah, Tom, this, of course, is a global problem, but I actually really want to focus in on the UK market because this actually was one of your leaders in chip innovation in Europe, but now we're increasingly seeing that British chip companies are being bought by foreign players. You have the likes of ARM being acquired by Japan's SoftBank, then handed over to NVIDIA. You also have Newport Wafer Fab sold to a Chinese manufacturing firm, and now also Dialog Semiconductor being sold to a Japanese company, Renesas. So the UK selling about $42 billion worth of its chip industry. So we're going to be talking about this and a whole lot more, of course, when we have the CEO of Semiconductor at 9 a.m. UK time as well.
Yeah, and Ritika, Broadcom saying that they are prepared to sacrifice some sales to avoid a future crash. What is happening there? What are the details of that decision?
Yeah, I think this is interesting. This is just how they're trying to control, of course, all of this demand that's coming in. They're saying the idea to sacrifice some of the current sales to avoid a future glut in the future. So that is essentially saying that they will deliberately be suppressing their earnings, and the chip makers tightly managing these orders. And this is focusing on supply discipline, according to the CEO.
Okay, Ritika Gupta, thank you very much indeed.